We continue to interpret the book Excellent Advice for Living by Kevin Kelly, and this part continues to talk about interpersonal relationships. In the previous segment, we discussed the virtues of sincerity and proactiveness, emphasizing the need to act as an adult. Now, let's take it further. Not only should you act like an adult, but you should also aim to be the protagonist in the presence of others. Not the kind of protagonist who constantly seeks the spotlight, but rather someone who can steer the situation in a positive direction when things aren't going well. At the core of this is a fundamental principle, a skill that goes against instinct and requires some experience: the ability to consider issues from the perspective of others. Kelly's words are, "Your golden ticket is being able to see things from other people's point of view." This shift enables heartfelt empathy. It also allows you to persuade others, and it is the key to great design. Mastering the view through the eyes of others will unlock so many doors. We've touched on similar principles before, but think about it. This is almost a superpower. In the midst of an argument, many people act impulsively, without thinking, only to regret their words later. Some individuals can step back from the situation, consider their image, and coach themselves on language use, much like a coach on the sidelines. Only a few can contemplate what the other person is thinking, what they need, and how they can better serve the other person in such circumstances. If you can unlock this ability, you'll be unstoppable. Let's start with the basics. A fundamental understanding is that everyone values themselves the most. So, if you want someone to value you, the best approach is to make them feel valued. Kelly states, "The more you are interested in others, the more interesting they'll find you." To be interesting, be interested. Have you experienced this? The simplest way to make a conversation interesting for someone is to make them the topic. The most boring way is to endlessly talk about yourself. Showing genuine interest in others is a high-level virtue. A particularly effective method is remembering the other person's name. Kelly suggests, let someone know you remembered their name, and they won't ever forget yours. To help remember their name, repeat it on first hearing. If you meet me in person and say, "Hey, I've read your articles," I'll be pleasantly surprised. If you can recall one of my viewpoints, you'll be a kindred spirit. People crave validation. Kelly says, make others feel they are important. It will make their day, and it will make your day. If you practice this skill adeptly, it becomes a necessary form of gentlemanly conduct. Always show genuine regard. It's not just about your own feelings. If you're in an environment where many people are usually overlooked, this habit will make you very popular. The highest form of regard is actively listening to what the other person is saying. Kelly says, speak confidently as if you are right, but listen carefully as if you are wrong. We mentioned earlier the abilities of figures like Mother Teresa and Saddam Hussein to quickly turn strangers into allies. Their key skill was the art of listening. Kelly also says, even if you don't say anything, if you listen carefully, people will consider you a great conversationalist. Better than just listening is genuinely understanding what the other person is saying. In a dispute or negotiation, you must ensure the other person knows you understand them. Kelly states, your opinion on a contentious issue gains power when you can argue the opposite side as well as they can. Kelly also notes, the best way to get to yes in a negotiation is to truly understand what yes means for the other party. Conversely, if you show disregard or even contempt for someone, it's an irreparable harm. As we've mentioned before, a crucial indicator of a potentially failed marriage is mutual contempt. Kelly is well aware of this, advising, when you keep people waiting, they begin to think of all your flaws. This is the greatest harm caused by being late. Moving beyond regard, let's discuss imitation. There's a saying in English, imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. Imitation, on a subconscious level, makes others believe you're one of them. Kelly's advice is to lower tensions during a dispute, mirror the other person's body language. He mentions using this technique often, in conversations with his wife. The key is that everyone likes those who resemble themselves. Kelly's life hack is, when hitchhiking, look like the person you want to pick you up. So, when applying for a job, it's clear you should appear as someone who belongs to that company. Another piece of advice regarding relationships is, outlaw the word you during domestic arguments. Why? Using you reminds the other person that you are two distinct individuals, intensifying conflict. Kelly's life lesson is, for marital bliss, take turns allowing each partner to be always right. Kelly also has insights into choosing a partner, stating, your ideal partner is not someone you never disagree with, but someone you are glad to disagree with. I believe this principle also applies to friends and colleagues. If you can navigate interactions successfully, you can take on the role of a manager or mentor. It's not about managing people, but rather nurturing people, helping them grow. Kelly says, cultivate 12 people who love you, because they are worth more than 12 million people who like you. The method of cultivation still involves considering things from the other person's perspective. Kelly states, if you don't care about your people, they won't care about your mission. However, this care isn't just about love. It's about motivation. Kelly says, the best way to advise young people is to find out what they really want to do, and then advise them to do it. This aligns with the idea we mentioned earlier, growing up is becoming yourself, but it also involves helping young people become themselves. So, cultivation isn't about indoctrination, turning everyone into a specific type of person, but allowing each person to showcase their unique qualities and talents. Sometimes, all they need is a bit of encouragement. Kelly says, you can really change someone's life for the better simply by offering words of encouragement. While you may need to train them with your expertise, the primary task is to uncover their potential, inspire, and ignite their passion. Especially note that, cultivating people is not about creating a group of subordinates, or turning people into tools. Kelly says, when you lead, your real job is to create more leaders, not more followers. You may think such leaders are too scarce. The common approach is to exploit subordinates to the fullest, as if not squeezing every ounce is a loss. However, consider this. Are the 12 carefully cultivated individuals meant to be your servants? In the modern world, with an open system, no one can monopolize knowledge and resources. Why should people grow with you? You want the 12 individuals you cultivate to be heroes, capable of standing on their own, creating an exceptional team. Think about the relationship between professors and graduate students in a typical university, or the dynamic between seasoned experts and newcomers in the high-tech industry. This is the kind of healthy cultivation relationship we're talking about. If your vision extends beyond your small circle, recognizing that everyone belongs to a larger community, you won't be so petty. Kelly says, it's unfortunate when someone you carefully trained leaves, but it is worse if you don't train them and they stay. With such a mindset, you can embrace even greater challenges. You are a sincere person, generous, with a grateful heart. You willingly cultivate others, and strive to see things from their perspective. You hold yourself to high standards while treating others with kindness. Yet, there are always people whom you feel don't deserve your goodwill. You don't have to be a saint. The simplest strategy is to ignore them. Kelly advises, when someone is nasty, hateful, or mean toward you, treat their behavior like an affliction or illness they have. That makes it easier to have empathy toward them, which can soften the conflict. Here, sympathy doesn't mean you should cure their illness. It means you make it easier for yourself to detach emotionally. A better approach might be to try to understand them. Kelly suggests, you can reduce the annoyance of someone's stupid belief by increasing your understanding of why they believe it. If you understand them, perhaps you can try to help them. Kelly says, being curious about another person's view is the most powerful way to change their view. But perhaps you should also reflect on why you attract such people and situations. Kelly says, your best response to an insult is, you're probably right. Often they are. Remember this phrase. You might be right. It's an absolute high ground, and can immediately calm the other person. Kelly also says, if you meet a jerk, ignore them. If you meet jerks everywhere every day, look deeper into yourself. Besides ignoring, another principle is to avoid getting angry as much as possible. Kelly says, anger is not the proper response to anger. When you see someone angry, you are seeing their pain. Compassion is the proper response to anger. Compassion for others, and forgiveness for yourself. What you get angry about reflects your own level. Kelly says, you are as big as the things that make you angry. Kelly also says, it's thrilling to be extremely polite to rude strangers. Moreover, calm is contagious. Be calm to help others. These are the principles for handling difficult people. However, please note that ignoring such people doesn't mean looking down on them. Maintaining a high stance, while treating people equally, being kind. Kelly has a line worth putting up on public walls. Don't treat people as bad as they are. Treat them as good as you are. Let your virtues, not theirs, guide this encounter. The ceiling of achievement is broad-mindedness, which comes from perspective. Expanding your perspective begins with learning to think from the viewpoint of others. Kelly's words might give you a glimpse into the mindset of contemporary tech giants. When a professor selflessly nurtures a student, even one from a foreign country, it's not foolishness. It's an understanding of what truly matters. When an adult maintains politeness, in the face of severe humiliation, it's not a lack of social experience. It's a choice of a higher level. That concludes this section. In the next part, let's delve into the art of writing.
If you feel there is value in this, please like, subscribe to this channel, and leave your thoughts or suggestions in the comments section. Let's grow together and read more good books.